Listen closely because this might be the moment everything changes for you. Watch this video every day, and I promise you, you will start seeing life differently. You'll stop letting fear, excuses, and that number on your birth certificate decide what's possible for you. Have you ever stopped yourself from doing something because a little voice in your head whispered, "It's too late for me," or "I'm too young, no one will take me seriously"? If so, let me tell you right now, that voice is lying to you. Age is just a number, but regret is forever. When you hear the name Denzel Washington, you think of success, power, discipline, and relentless consistency. But here's the truth. He didn't become who he is by letting a timeline decide his destiny. He understood one thing. As long as you're breathing, you've got a shot to build something great. So let's start here. Stop letting age be your prison. You are not too young to start, and you are not too old to begin again. And if you still think you are, you're going to feel very different by the time we're done. I want you to imagine this, a giant hourglass filled with sand. Every grain that falls is a moment of your life passing. The thing is, you don't know how much sand you've got left. Some people waste decades waiting for the right time, and by the time they look up, half the sand is gone. The ones who change the world don't wait for the right time. They make the time right now. Here's the first truth you need to burn into your mind. The world's timelines are fake. Society tells you that by 18 you should know your path, by 25 you should have stability, by 35 you should be settled, and by 65 you should slow down and fade into the background. Who made those rules? Who decided that after a certain point you should just stop chasing dreams and start acting your age? The problem is, most people believe it. They stop running when the race is only halfway done because someone told them they've reached their limit. They've been trained to believe that potential has an expiration date. But if you study history, you'll see it's full of people who broke those imaginary deadlines. Think about it. Denzel Washington didn't land his first major film role until his early 30s. Morgan Freeman didn't get his breakout role until he was 52. Vera Wang entered the fashion industry at 40. The truth is, greatness doesn't ask for your age, it asks for your commitment. But let's address the other side. The young ones who think they have all the time in the world. That's a dangerous lie too. Time is not guaranteed. If you're 20 and you think I'll start later, you're setting yourself up to waste the most energy-rich years of your life. Youth gives you energy, but if you waste it waiting for confidence to magically appear, you'll blink and find yourself wishing you'd started sooner. The young have speed, but the older have strategy. The young have fresh vision, but the older have wisdom forged in the fire of experience. Do you see where I'm going with this? It's never about the age. It's about how you use what you have right now in this very season of your life. But here's the enemy. Fear. Fear of being judged, fear of being laughed at, fear of failing in front of people who are just waiting to say, "I told you so." And I'll tell you something Denzel Washington once said that I'll never forget. Do what you have to do what you want to do. That means take the leap, put in the work, and ignore the noise. The people who succeed aren't fearless. They just don't let fear stop them. Let me challenge you. Close your eyes for a second and picture that thing you've always wanted to do. Maybe it's starting a business, learning a skill, or finally writing that book. Now ask yourself, if you started today, where could you be in a year? And if you don't start today, how will you feel a year from now, knowing you could have? I've seen people waste decades waiting for permission to chase their dreams. They wait for their boss to approve, their friends to support, or their family to get it. Here's the hard truth. The world doesn't hand you a permission slip. You have to sign your own. And if you think age is the reason you haven't started, you're hiding behind an excuse. I've met 19-year-olds who act like their life is over, and I've met 80-year-olds who are just getting started. The difference isn't age, it's mindset. Picture this, two people standing at the base of a mountain. One is young, full of energy, but afraid to take the first step. The other is older, maybe slower, but they've climbed mountains before. Who makes it to the top? The one who starts climbing. Energy means nothing without movement. Wisdom means nothing without action. And here's what most people don't realize. The cost of waiting is bigger than the risk of trying. Every day you delay, you're not just losing time, you're losing opportunities, momentum, and the chance to build something that matters. One day you'll wake up and realize that the thing you were scared to start is now the thing you wish you had already finished. So the question is, are you going to keep letting the clock bully you into sitting still? Or are you going to flip the script and use every second you've got left to push forward? I'm telling you this because I've seen it happen. I've seen people in their 60s start careers they never imagined. I've seen teenagers with no resources build something that changes their lives forever. Age didn't decide their future. Action did. So if you take nothing else from this part of the video, take this. Your age is not your cage. Whether you're 18, 38, or 78, your next chapter hasn't been written yet, and the pen is in your hands right now. Now that we've ripped the chains off the myth that age decides your potential, let's dig deeper, because I want you to see exactly how to use your age, no matter what it is, as a weapon, not a weakness. Here's the mindset shift you have to make. Instead of thinking, I'm too young or I'm too old, start asking, what does my season of life give me that no one else has? Because every season has its own superpower, and if you don't use it, you waste it. Let's start with the young. If you're in your teens or 20s, you might feel like people don't take you seriously. You walk into a room, share your ideas, and see the smirks, people thinking, what does this kid know? But here's the thing, you have something they don't: time, energy, and freedom to fail without catastrophic consequences. You can fall flat on your face today and still have decades to rebuild. That's a gift. Use these years to swing big, experiment, and learn faster than anyone else in the room. Don't just dream. Execute, fail, adapt, and try again. Now, for those of you in your 30s, 40s, and 50s, this is where you have to stop underestimating yourself. These are prime years for execution because you've already lived enough life to know what works and what's a waste of time. You're not guessing anymore. You have clarity. And with that clarity, you can avoid the distractions that keep younger people running in circles. You've got the discipline to stick to something until it pays off. And if you're in your 60s or beyond, this is where your power becomes legacy. You've built resilience, you've endured storms, you've seen cycles repeat, and you know how to navigate them. You can inspire, mentor, and create impact in ways younger people can't yet imagine. And here's the twist. Just because you can mentor doesn't mean you can't start something new. I've seen people start businesses at 70, run marathons at 80, and graduate college at 90. Your timeline is yours. The key across all ages: stop comparing your chapter 5 to someone else's chapter 20. You're not late. You're exactly where you're supposed to be to start from here. But let's talk about the real reason most people let age stop them. It's not the number, it's the fear of starting over. Maybe you've invested years into one career and the thought of switching makes you feel like you're throwing it all away. Maybe you think you're too far behind in the game. But here's a secret. Nothing you've done so far is wasted. Every skill, every lesson, every struggle has prepared you for what's next. Take Denzel Washington, for example. He's an Oscar-winning actor, yes, but he didn't build that legacy overnight. He started small. Stage plays, minor roles, rejection after rejection. But every single step mattered. The roles you play early on in life, whether they're glamorous or not, build the foundation for the big moments later. And that's true whether you're 25 or 65. Here's something powerful to remember. Experience compounds. The same way money grows with interest, your skills, mindset, and resilience grow every time you push yourself. You might think, I'm starting too late. But if you've been through battles, you'll move faster than someone starting with zero experience, even if they're younger. Now, there's another trap I have to warn you about: the perfect time illusion. People tell themselves they'll start when they have more money, more energy, more support. But there's no neon sign that says, now is the moment. You either start now or you wait forever. I've met people in their 20s who have been waiting for the right time for 10 years. The truth is, the right time is the moment you decide to act, no matter how messy it is. And let's be real, action beats planning every single time. You can plan for years, but nothing happens until you take the first step. That first step might be scary, it might be clumsy, but it's the only way to start building momentum. And momentum is what carries you through the days you feel like quitting. Think about it like this. Imagine you're holding a jar. Every day you take action, you drop a marble inside. By the end of the year, you want that jar overflowing with proof that you showed up. Because when you see the jar filling, you start to believe in yourself more. And when you believe in yourself more, you take even bigger steps. That's how you grow at any age. But I'm going to be honest, some people never start because they're addicted to comfort. They say they're too old, but what they really mean is, I'm too comfortable to be uncomfortable again. And comfort is a slow death. It doesn't kill you overnight, it kills you in small doses, stealing your ambition until you're just existing instead of living. Denzel Washington once said, "Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship." That's truth. Hardship wakes you up, forces you to grow, and pushes you toward your best self. Comfort keeps you exactly where you are, and where you are is not where your dreams live. So here's my challenge to you. Whatever your age, do something this week that scares you. Not something reckless, but something that pushes your limits. Apply for that position you think you're underqualified for. Sign up for the class you've been putting off. Reach out to the mentor you've been too nervous to contact. Every time you take action, you weaken the grip that fear and age have on your mind. And when fear whispers, "What if you fail?" you answer, "What if I succeed?" Because that's the truth. You might fail, yes, but you also might change your life. And the only way to find out is to try. The clock is ticking for all of us. But instead of seeing it as a countdown to the end, see it as a reminder to use the time you have left to create something worth remembering. Age doesn't limit you. Hesitation does. If you've made it this far, it means something deep inside you already knows. Your age isn't the problem. The problem is the story you've been telling yourself about what your age means. And the good news, you can change that story starting right now. Let's talk about something that most people don't think about until it's too late. The cost of waiting. Every dream you delay has an expiration date in your mind, even if it's not real. You think, "I'll do it next year." But then life gets in the way, and next year becomes 5 years, and before you know it, you're sitting in the same spot, wondering where the time went. I've seen it happen. People with brilliant ideas, world-changing visions, they sit on them for decades because they're waiting for someday. But here's the truth. Someday doesn't exist. There's only today. And if you keep pushing your dreams into the future, you'll one day wake up realizing you've been living someone else's life instead of building your own. And I'll tell you something. The pain of trying and failing is nothing compared to the pain of never trying at all. Failure stings. Yes, but it heals. Regret is a wound that stays open for life. There's a story I love about a woman named Nola Ox. At 95 years old, she became the world's oldest college graduate. 95. People asked her why she did it, and her answer was so simple it almost makes you laugh. Because I wanted to. She didn't overthink it. She didn't wait for approval. She just decided, I'm going to do this. And she did. That's what it looks like to refuse to let age be a barrier. And think about Nelson Mandela, a man who spent 27 years behind prison walls. He could have let bitterness and hopelessness define his final years. Instead, at 76 years old, when most people are settling down, he stepped into the role of president of South Africa and changed history. People don't remember his age. They remember his courage. Your legacy is not built on when you start. It's built on how you finish. You might have stumbled for the first half of your life. You might have made mistakes, taken wrong turns, or lived in survival mode. But that doesn't have to be the end of your story. You are still holding the pen. You can still turn the page. And here's the beautiful part. The most powerful stories aren't the ones where everything went perfectly from the beginning. They're the ones where the hero gets knocked down, counted out, and still rises anyway. The hero who finishes strong leaves a deeper mark than the one who had it easy from day one. So here's my question for you. What ending are you going to write? Are you going to let the number on your birthday cake decide the rest of your life? Or are you going to step forward and say, I choose the next chapter? Denzel Washington once said, fall forward. It means if you're going to fall, fall while moving towards something. If you fail, fail while reaching for your dream, not while standing still, wondering, what if? Because even in failure, you gain experience, you gain wisdom, and you gain wisdom, and you gain proof that you were willing to bet on yourself. So stop looking at the clock like it's an enemy. See it as a motivator. Every tick is a reminder that you still have time, but not forever. And that's what makes it valuable. Here's what I want you to do today. Think of one thing you've been putting off because of your age. Just one. It might be small, it might be massive. I don't care what it is. Write it down. Make a decision. Make a decision that before the week ends, you'll take one real step toward it. Not research, not daydreaming, real action. Sign the application. Make the phone call. Book the appointment. Tell someone your plans so they can hold you accountable. Because here's the thing. No one is coming to push you. No one is going to knock on your door and hand you the life you've been imagining. You have to get up and go get it yourself. And when you start, people might doubt you. They might tell you you're wasting your time. They might laugh. But remember this, you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for the version of yourself that refuses to live in regret. So whether you're 18, 38, 58, or 88, hear me when I say this. Your best days are not behind you unless you decide to stop living. Every day you wake up, you have a chance to start again, to learn, to grow, to give, to build. You have a chance to rewrite your story. I want you to imagine yourself years from now, looking back on this moment. Will you be proud that you took action, or will you be wishing you had? That choice is in your hands, right here, right now. Age doesn't hold you back. Hesitation does. Fear does. Waiting for permission does. The moment you stop letting those things control you is the moment you become unstoppable. So take the step, not tomorrow, not next week, today. Write the chapter that you'll be proud to read when it's all said and done. Leave behind a legacy that proves you lived with courage, not caution. If this message hit you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment telling me the dream you're starting on today. Hit like so we can reach more people who feel like their time has passed. And subscribe, because this journey is about building a life you can't wait to wake up to, at any age. Your best days are ahead. Let's go make them count.